guys, welcome to Gunny Sharp Talk. We're gonna do a couple things on a couple different videos. I have promised everybody another video on the Gunny Juice and showing how to load it on like a wood strop, that type of thing. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm gonna do another video of stropping, and we're gonna see what the juice will or will not do. And I will take a Maximet that has been sharpened to about 700 grit. Originally I was gonna do the factory edge, but I'll mention that in the next video on why we went the way we went. So let me get a nano cloth, wrong way, nano cloth 0.1. I can get my fat finger in there to get it out. I'll put my grubby paws all over it. Nano cloth 0.1. We have some 0.1 here. This is the newer 10 milliliter bottles that I've been using, and we have some basswood. And normally I sand the basswood to about a 2 to 5,000 grit just to smooth it out. As you can see, it's got like little dimples and stuff like that in it, so I just make it smooth, flat. But we're not going to for the purpose of the video, because it will work without it. I think I get a little better finish when I smooth it out, but that's up to you on whether you want to do it or not. For the purpose of this video, we're not going to. This is a little bit longer than what I usually use. I left the sticker on, show you what I usually buy. 1/4 inch by 1 inch by 24 inches for $2.99 at Hobby Lobby. I cut them into usually 4 6-inch pieces. I cut them just a little bit longer. This time we will apply some product. I always shake it. It should stay fairly evenly distributed, but I like to shake it, especially since we use that deionization process. If you shake it, it does help spread the diamonds out, because as I said before, they're like taking magnets of the same polarity and putting the poles together, and they kind of push each other apart. So it gives you a good even distribution of diamond. See how it comes out kind of like mercury, like it would roll around on here? That is because of that. Whoop, splattered that a little bit. You do have a little more control with these pumps. I just got heavy-handed on these bottles. These are also vacuum bottles where the bottom comes to the top. There's holes in the bottom of every one, and that's so that they can create that vacuum. Now, the reason why these beat up like that is because of the deionization process, and those are pushing against each other and create surface tension on the liquid. Once you break that surface tension, then it's easy to spread. I use a brush. A lot of people use their finger. Use a brush because, as you can see, I get a nice even spread. Probably put a little more than I needed for the first coating. A lot of times I'll put more than one coat on, but this is fine. This will cut. It's okay to see wood through it. If you noticed the other ones I had sitting on that lid, you couldn't really see the wood through it, but they have been used and had a product reapplied several times. It's my dog barking in the background. He's being a dog. Dogs bark outside. He thinks he's left out. So anyways, now that we have that on, we'll let that dry. on camera, give you guys a couple minutes to show you how fast it dries. This is one I did, it's 1/4 micron. I've used it several times. I've been asked, when do I recoat? When I start getting a lot of black on the wood. This one's ash wood, I think. It's a piece that I believe Wade Norton sent this to me. Yes, this is one that he sent me to check out. It gives a nice edge. It doesn't have, you can see, as tight of grain, so it's not as dense as like basswood or balsa. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. Here, I'll show you the other side. I didn't sand this side down. It looks like you have grooves, but it's smooth across. You just have some different grain, and I feel like above 1 micron and above works okay on this. Below that, I feel like it gets down in the grooves and you lose some of the product, some of the diamonds. So here we are. It's just a couple minutes in, and it is getting close to drying. Now, I've had people tell other people you can't use it if it's still wet on there. Yes, you can. In fact, sometimes it polishes a little bit faster, but what happens is you waste product because you end up taking the product off and you end up getting it on the bevel of the knife. But it does polish fast. This polishes fast enough, and it's not cheap, so you don't want to waste the product. I'll show you applying it to a nano cloth too, and this has already been used multiple times. If we catch the light just right, I don't know if you can see that in the, nah, can't right now. I can see it, but we can't see it on camera. Now, nano cloth, when you first load it, it's really thirsty, but after it's been loaded, it reloads pretty easy. And this is what I do. I'll put a couple drops on, start brushing it and trying to spread it out. If it seems like it's really soaking it up, then I'll add another drop or 2 or 3. So that I can get an even spread on it. That was probably 1 drop more than I needed, but it's fine. It doesn't hurt if you get too much on. It takes a little bit longer than normal to dry, but it still dries pretty fast. The thing is, if you get too much on, you're kind of wasting product because you don't need that much. And like I said, this isn't, we all know this isn't the cheapest stuff. It's not the cheapest to have to make it. It's not the cheapest to use. So you don't want to waste any more than necessary. One of the reasons why I like going with these bottles. I may get away from the skinnier 10 milliliter bottles. I have found that there's some inconsistencies from one supplier to the next, coming from China with those bottles. I thought I was having issues with the pump. It turns out it's the bottle itself. I think I figured out what's going on with it. The skinnier bottles, we did get a bad batch, and it took me a little bit to figure out why they weren't working the way the other ones were. They didn't want to pump the same way, and that was due to the bottom. The bottoms of these do make a big difference. the placement of the holes and how solid the bottom piece is. And in some of those, the bottom piece was a little loose, so it didn't allow air to come in and get trapped and create a suction as easily. Glad I figured that out, because now I know when I order what to look for. I wish I could have figured it out before I trashed a bunch of bottles, because they got mixed together and they look the same for the most part. Looking at one, you couldn't really tell one from the next, except for the bottoms. I figured out where the issues were. I apologize if any of you received any of those bottles. Like I said, visually we were having trouble distinguishing one from the next, and until they went out and we started getting feedback that the bottles weren't pumping, we had no idea. So again, I apologize for that, and that's one of the reasons why I really appreciate all the feedback you guys give, positive, negative. Any feedback helps us to continually improve the product. We're going to start another video here in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and end this one and say, if you have any questions, comments, please comment down below. You guys know you can always message me, like, subscribe. I'm going to probably do a few more Gunny Juice videos because there's been some things requested. Overall, I don't want to do too many because I still want to bring you guys some information on sharpening. That's what the channel was started for. It's just easier to answer some of your questions through a YouTube video because I can upload that and answer a ton of questions at once. But again, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. I'm open to hearing them all and appreciate you guys. Thanks.